Good day, class. Good day, everyone. So, before we formally start our discussion, let me just say that I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope everyone is safe as well as your families. Okay, now we are going to proceed with our topic. So, for our topic for today will be about correcting sight word knowledge deficit. I assume that some of you are not familiar with the word or with the idea of sight word knowledge deficit. Don't worry because we are going to answer some questions regarding this topic. So for our first question, we have what? So what is sight word? Sight words are common words that kids recognize instantly without sounding them out. So basically, these are words that we normally see or we normally hear everywhere. These words are the kind of words that we don't really have to put too much effort in decoding for us to know the meaning of it. For example, in this sentence, we have the word kids. Um, the word kids, we can already identify the meaning of it just by reading it once, right? We don't really have context clues or a whole sentence for us to understand the meaning of kids. Just when I read the word kids, we already know the meaning of it, right? So kids is a sample of sight word. Next, we have what is deficit or deficiency. So deficit or deficiency is a lack or shortage. So when we combine the sight word knowledge and deficit, it means that it is about a lack in sight word knowledge. So our focus for today are those students who are having a hard time remembering the meaning of our sight words. Okay, next question is why. Um, the question here is why is it important for us to develop our sight word knowledge? So, according to Michael Presley, an American psychologist, he said that if a student is not fluent in word recognition, he or she is thinking about the sounds of the individual letters and letter combinations rather than using that energy to make sense of the text being read. In contrast, because a fluent reader dedicates a little capacity to word recognition, most of his or her capacity is available for comprehension. Um, I guess the best example for this is if I assign a student to tell me their insight about the passage that I just read, it will be harder for the student to give me an insight if he or she has a um, side sight word knowledge deficit because these students need to decode a sentence word by word before they um, grasp the meaning of the text. So it is important or it is important for us to develop our sight word knowledge because it will be easier for us to know the meaning of a or the context of a sentence or a text or a passage or even a book, right? So after knowing the meaning of sight word knowledge deficit, we are now going to proceed to our lesson proper. So I have here a sentence. The sentence is, they consider it a mistake for Tawan to travel alone in Korea. So what do you think will be our sight word for today? I will read it again. They consider it a mistake for Tawan to travel alone in Korea. Okay, that's right. Our word or sight word for today is mistake. They consider it a mistake for Tawan to travel alone in Korea. Let us read our sight word again. Mistake, mistake, mistake. Okay, very good. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple of photos that I guess are commonly commonly response or reactions of people whenever they made a mistake. This activity will help us to understand the meaning of mistake, um, to understand deeper the meaning of mistake. So first, respond of a person when they made a mistake is to erase it. This is only possible if our mistake is written, okay? Just to be clear. Obviously, we have here an eraser and a written word, which is mistake. And this is, we can relate to this because we are all students and we commonly made a mistake whenever we write essays or even our names, right? Next photo is this one. So the word says oops. I added this image because I think we can all relate with this, right? Whenever we made a mistake, a sudden mistake, we our reaction are mostly oops to say this word oops. And if we made a mistake um, towards someone, this word is mostly followed with I'm sorry. Oops, I'm sorry, right? Okay, next is this gesture, I guess. Sometimes words are not enough for us to show, or for us to show our embarrassment when we made a mistake, right? Sometimes we just want to hide because we are disappointed or we are shy with the mistake that we did. Okay, with the help of those photos, I hope that we now have an idea about the meaning of mistake. Okay, now let us proceed in identifying the meaning of mistake. First is an action or judgment that is misguided or wrong. The next one is to be wrong about. So the word mistake can be used as a noun and also a verb in a sentence. The sentence that I gave earlier, um, this one, they consider it a mistake for Tawan to travel alone in Korea. We use the word mistake here as a noun because mistake here is just a judgment. It is a judgment for Tawan that he can travel alone in Korea. So the mistake here is a noun. For this one, I made a mistake on a very important test. We use the word mistake here as a verb because it is an action word. The word mistake here is to be wrong about, right? Okay, now that we've discussed the meaning of mistake and how we can use it in a sentence, we can now focus on our sight word itself, which is mistake. I am going to show you three words and I want you to observe what is something in common with our sight word mistake with these three words. Okay, the first one is bake. The next one is cake, and last is awake. Okay, now our sight word again is mistake. So, what is something in common between this mistake, this sight word, and those three words that I showed you? Okay, that's right. They have the same three letters at the end of the word. We have the letters A, K, and E. Ache, bake, cake, and awake. That is because they are member of a word family. They are members of a word family, which is the ache word family. So words are grouped into families wherein they have something in common, just like with our sight word for today, which is mistake, and those three words that I gave, the bake, cake, and awake, they have the same letters at the end of the word, and that's why they are part of the eight word family. So I hope everything is clear so far. We are almost done, and we can now proceed with some more sentences for us to have a deeper understanding about our sight word for today. These sentences, we commonly hear them in daily conversation, or no, when we watch dramas or when we watch movies, we mostly hear these sentences, and they use the word mistake. The first sentence is, sometimes I make a mistake and do the wrong thing. Maybe it was a mistake to come here. I made a really bad mistake and I don't know what to do. So again, for the last time, let us read our sight word for today. Mistake, mistake, mistake. Very good. Okay, so before I formally end our discussion, let me have a short recap or summary of what we've discussed today. Um, we discovered earlier the meaning of sight word deficit or sight word knowledge deficit, and we also discovered its importance. Then we also discussed about um, the meaning of mistake, how it is used in a sentence, some photos to help us identify or have a deeper understanding about the word mistake, and some we also discovered that the word mistake is part of the eight family, together with the words cake, awake, and bake. And um, for the last part of our discussion, I want you, I want the class to create 5 sentences with the word mistake. So this will be your homework for today. I made this homework because I want you to develop not only the meaning of the mistake, not for you to just know the meaning of it, but also to develop your knowledge in using sight words in a sentence, because that will help you to also identify or comprehend sentences with sight words. Okay, any questions? I hope everything was discussed clearly and that you've learned something today. So here are my references for my PowerPoint presentation. And again, thank you for listening to my discussion for today. I hope everyone is doing fine. Please stay safe, wear a mask, and wash your hands. Again, thank you and goodbye.